With your latest news, I'm April Cummings. The Chief Medical Officer, Dr. John Lee, reports 878 COVID-19 tests carried out since Friday, September 10th. There were 16 positive test results in travelers. Of those travelers, 5 were vaccinated and 3 were on the shortest 5-day quarantine period. There have been 103,904 COVID-19 vaccinations given in total in the islands. Of these, 53,626, that is 75% of the estimated population of 71,106, have had at least one dose of a COVID-19 vaccine. 50,278, 71% have completed the 2-dose course. Her Majesty Cayman Islands Prison Service has resumed its requirement that visitors to Northward and Fairbanks present a PCR test taken within 72 hours of their arrival that is negative for COVID-19. The decision follows the news late last week that 3 people in the community without a travel history tested positive for COVID-19. Prison management will inform the public when testing requirements are once again lifted. If you breach quarantine, you face 2 years in jail and up to $10,000 in fine. Travel Cayman is reiterating that message after an additional 7 suspected breaches were reported over the weekend. Travel Cayman Director Cassandra Morris.
Travel Cayman continues to strengthen its policies, including reorganizing key resources to mitigate the potential for future incidents. We continue to fight against the spread of COVID-19 and to encourage persons in quarantine, as well as the public, to adhere to our protocols and guidelines. We need everyone to do their part to keep our families, community, and the country safe.
Ms. Morris thanks members of the public who have reported breaches. She says they're keeping the Cayman Islands community safe. To report a suspected breach, call 943-SAFE or file an online report at explore.gov.ky/travel. Health Services Authority CEO Lizette Yearwood says the authority is ready and prepared for any reintroduction of COVID in the community. It's been part of their action plan for the border reopening.
You have a healthcare team. We have our medical director here who has been meeting regularly with the team, both from the private and public sector. That is our health task force that is combing the research and making sure that we update our plans, make sure that we are in the process of making sure that all the necessary pharmaceuticals are in place. We have more orders in hand as well to make sure that we at the HSA is prepared for any eventuality.
HSA has moved some plans up ahead of the border reopening, including resumption of the flu clinic and reactivation of the respiratory care unit.
I just want to encourage persons who are experiencing flu-like symptoms, because there have been a number of people who've been experiencing flu already this season, to please stay at home and contact the flu hotline. The flu hotline is going to be answered by a healthcare professional that will screen your symptoms, screen your travel history, and advise you accordingly.
The flu hotline is available 24 hours a day for people to call if they're experiencing flu symptoms or have any other concerns. The number is 947-3077. You can also call 1-800-534-8600 or email flu@hsa.ky. HSA's flu clinic is available Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., specifically for people experiencing flu-like symptoms. The Cayman Islands Independent Monitoring Board for Prisons and Places of Detention gives its verdict on the final key test in its 2020 annual report. Radio Cayman's Felicia Rankin-Solins has more.
To determine if Cayman's prisons and places of detention provide a healthy custodial environment, the monitoring board marks them on 4 tests: safety, respect, purposeful activity, and lastly, rehabilitation and reintegration. Meaning, are prisoners supported to maintain and develop relationships with their family and friends? Are prisoners helped to reduce their likelihood of reoffending? And is their risk of harm managed effectively? Are prisoners prepared well for reintegration into society? And are they provided with adequate social support when they are released? During 2020, multiple prisoners informed the board that they found it difficult to maintain relations with family and friends due to COVID-19 and the lockdown period when visitation was not allowed. However, they were able to maintain contact connect via telephone and Zoom calls. The Release on Temporary License program is available to those eligible to help with reintegration into society, providing work and living in the rehabilitation unit during this time. Male ROTL prisoners are still housed at enhanced reintegration units. However, the female prisoners still do not have equitable access to the same provisions as their male counterparts for their ROTL program. For example, they do not have a dedicated building. As of December 31st, 2020, only 9 prisoners were housed at ERU, of which only 6 had work provided due to the pandemic. The re-entry of prisoners into society is still a concern to the board, and prisoners have also expressed their concerns in not being able to be employed after their release back into society as a result of the stigma attached to them being imprisoned. The director advised that another issue is that of prisoners not being able to open a bank account upon release. For Radio Cayman News, I'm Felicia Rankin-Solins.
For more information about the CIIMB, visit odg.gov.ky or email ciimb@gov.ky. The Cayman Islands Red Cross conducts a public survey, part of a new 5-year strategic plan. Radio Cayman's Dion England has more.
The Cayman Islands Red Cross is in the process of building a new 5-year strategic plan, and they're conducting an online information gathering and feedback survey. The survey will provide valuable feedback on the work of the Cayman Islands Red Cross, as well as insights on what areas they should focus their efforts on in the next 5 years, as well as the community's perceptions of unmet needs. The Cayman Islands Red Cross will be distributing the 5-minute survey to stakeholders via their email database, and they're also encouraging the wider community and general public to respond. A link to the survey can be found on the website at redcross.org.ky or on their social media channels on Facebook and Instagram. Director of the Cayman Islands Red Cross, John Doe Obi, says the CIRC has concentrated efforts on improving communities and creating a better environment for residents. As they plan for the next 5 years, your feedback will help them towards developing initiatives that benefit Cayman. Help them by completing their short survey so they know what areas to focus their attention on. Reporting for Radio Cayman News, I'm Dion Anglin.
The Cayman Islands Red Cross is currently celebrating its 60th anniversary. Businesses, community groups, schools, and individuals are all encouraged to #PaintCaymanRed, with all donations and proceeds going to support CIRC community programs. Government proceeds with Phase 2 of the Cayman Islands Farmers Assistance and Relief Measures CI Farm program, with some 400 commercial farmers across Cayman set to receive more grants. Here's Radio Cayman's Shanda Gallego with the details.
Officials with the Ministry of Agriculture announced Thursday each commercial farmer will receive a voucher card to be topped up over the 3-month period to purchase livestock feed, fertilizers, pesticides, and other essential agricultural inputs from the Department of Agriculture. Minister of Agriculture, the Honourable J. E. Banks, says the government is committed to supporting farmers and strengthening the island's food and nutrition security. He says additional funds of close to $500,000, which have been allocated for this phase of the program, is further indication of their intention to provide support and resources that are needed to enhance food and nutrition security. Over 1,500 members of the farming community in Cayman, including commercial farmers, have benefited from the relief measures since the inception of CI Farm, which is being implemented by the Department of Agriculture with funding and oversight provided by the Ministry of Planning, Agriculture, Housing and Infrastructure. Shanda Gallego, Radio Cayman News.
You can find out more about Phase 2 of the COVID-19 CI Farm program by getting in touch with the Department of Agriculture at 947-3090. Cabinet approves reduced fees for many motor vehicle and driver's license services for senior citizens in the islands. The fee reductions for the island's silver drivers became effective on Sunday, August 15th. Fees for motor vehicle registrations, vehicle license renewals, driver's license applications, and driver's license renewals will all be reduced by 50% for older people in the community. Fees related to motor vehicle registration plates or license plates will also be reduced by 33%. The fee discounts will be consistent across Grand Cayman, Cayman Brac, and Little Cayman for any vehicles owned by any person over the age of 65. And that is your latest local news from Radio Cayman's newsroom. I'm April Cummings.